Hey everyone, my name's Piper, and this is Mother.Nature's.Medicine. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. So today, tonight, it is December 25th of 2022. So yeah, it's Christmas Day night. And I'm done with all of my festivities, which weren't much this year. I don't know about y'all, but I definitely did not feel very festive this year. I didn't feel very, I wanted to be, but I was so frazzled, and up and down and all around depressed. It's just been a year. I thought 2020 was bad, and then 2021 happened, and then I thought 2021 was bad and 2022 would be better. And while it did get better, it also had some really, really bad lows, resulting in I'm actually far worse off financially than I was before. But that's okay. I feel like there are answers at the end of the tunnel, and things happen the way they were supposed to happen. So yeah, it's all right. I'm looking up, I'm looking toward the future. I somehow still have hope, that this, year is going to bring me something. It's already brought me a new perception on things. And I just know that in 2019, I was not fully present in all of my therapeutic sessions with my clients because I was dealing with some things on my end already. That's why I did step back. When COVID happened, I was in a good place, but my mind, just like in 2019, my mind was still trying to recover. If you know anything about trauma, then it really does affect your memory. It affects how you remember things. It affects how you process things. It changes you. Like, literally kills brain cells. And the longer you are in trauma, the longer you're going through depression and anxiety and all those things, and it's not treated properly, and the longer that you isolate, it continues to fester and get worse. It actually kills brain cells, and you become a different person. And you're having to relearn things you thought you knew, and then create and foster the right environment in your mind to allow new neurons to develop, to begin to develop again. Because ultimately, we all have thousands and thousands of brain cells that are created every day in our mind. But anxiety and depression kill that. They kill them. They do not allow them to continue to grow and mature. Ultimately, they kill them off. And so whenever you're dealing with trauma, or it's day in and day out of losing yourself and that feeling, it stops your brain from creating those neurons that you need. Therefore, no new neurons, and then killing off the other ones. So these are things that I do talk about. These are things that are present in my dissertation. I'm not trying to really go into all that right now, but I bring it up now because I was dealing with a lot of that recovery part of it before. And while I say I wasn't fully present, it's because I wasn't fully myself at the moment. And I felt like I needed to step back from full-time work, which I had done in 2019. So I was able to handle the caseload that I had at the time. And then when COVID hit, they increased my hours and cut my pay. And so it was really hard, on top of being stressful enough to try to find clients that would actually show to their sessions, that could find internet where they could speak freely. Or at the time, I was in between homes because I was trying to move closer to my family, and just before COVID. So when COVID hit, I hadn't found a new place yet. So I was with my parents at the time when it happened. So I stayed with them for a while. And so it was very difficult to try to find time to have sessions that were private and without interruptions and things like that. So I eventually just stopped counseling, and then I opened up a crystal business. Now, I have been practicing Ayurvedic medicine for probably 5 years, maybe longer, without actually knowing it was Ayurvedic medicine. I believe I stumbled on joyfulbelly.com in 2015. 2015 was when I stumbled upon Joyful Belly. And that's when I started learning about Ayurvedic medicine. But I didn't really get deep into it until 2016, 2017. Now, I have a background in it now in my PhD program. So I have taken a couple of classes like that. I have extensively worked with practitioners behind, you know, what am I trying to say? Behind the workshops that they've done, after the workshops, through workshops, things like that. If I tried to, I probably couldn't pull off the top of my head and tell you the core things about Ayurvedic medicine at the moment, because I haven't had a refresher on it in a while, which is another reason why I love counseling. I love the educational part of it. I like doing psychoeducational stuff. And so I really miss doing that because it keeps things fresh in my mind. It keeps me learning. It keeps me on my toes when I have clients that ask questions. They also they'll pose questions that are interesting to me, get me thinking, and I really love those things. I really love it. So I need to get back to it, okay? I really miss it quite a lot, and I need a refresher myself. So if you've been around here at all, if you follow me on any of my other channels, you probably know that I have been planning. I started to try to do it around Thanksgiving or right after Thanksgiving to do workshops to lead into a program, and then 2 different programs. And ultimately I would like to offer them on my website. They will be there where you can watch my videos, learn from it, do some outside work on your own, and you can do it on your own without me present if you wanted that. And then you can schedule an appointment with me if you would like to continue on your studies, depending on no matter what it is, you know. So ultimately I would like to start the workshop on, I wanted to start the workshop around Thanksgiving, and I didn't end up doing that because I was a little overwhelmed. There's a lot of things going on, and I really just need to sell some stuff. But it seems everybody was having a lot of financial issues this year, and I completely understand. So I probably should have went ahead through it. It didn't happen. So I'm going on tangents. It's been a day. So coming back to all of it, I just want to reiterate that my point of this, oh please, loading. Whew. I came on here, which one? I'm sorry, I'm starting to mix in all the things I wanted to talk about on video today. So ultimately, I am going to start gathering the intel that I need to do, because I do ultimately want to do the workshops, but I want to provide PowerPoints. I'm a hands-on person. You can see I talk with my hands. I'm interactive. I really love being face-to-face with people, but that's not exactly how I can be right now. And so ultimately I would like to do those, the workshops in Zoom calls where I can write on a board. I have a board. And I can interact with you. And so I will have like a PowerPoint with things and things that I can hand out that I'll put on the screen here in the videos. And you can screenshot that if you would like and print it out or whatever it is, things like that. So ultimately that's why I would like to do it. So I can do lives like that. And then offer the videos on my website where you can just purchase that session and do it on your own if you would like. So it really is, what is it about? I didn't even tell you what it was about. The workshops are spiritual awakening. Okay. I don't know if any of y'all know this, but all of the work that you supposedly do in counseling, all of the work on yourself, of growing, of becoming a better person, understanding other people, your life, your everything, all of those lessons are ultimately about being able to cope with life, the problems that come with that, what that looks like, how to manage, know when to reach out for other people, to other people, etc., etc. And and a lot of people struggle with the word of spirituality, and we can talk about that another day. We'll probably talk about it during the workshops. But ultimately, the workshops are all small little chunks of lessons that I teach in counseling. I teach it to every single person. I don't care if it's substance use disorders. I don't care if it's other different addictions I've talked about. I don't care if it's depression. I don't care if it's anxiety. I don't care. All of these things within this workshops that I'm wanting to speak about are all a greater whole of everything that I've taught since I became a counselor and before. I know I've talked about this before, where I really felt like I stepped in my own. Finally, I knew where I was supposed to be whenever I started counseling. Because I hadn't counseled yet. My first couple of classes I took on, I was like, the 12 steps, that's what those are. I basically did that. But I put a spin on it, oh my God, there's a word for that? Oh my God, that's a theory? I did that. So I fit, like, things that I did to help myself grow were actually theories that I hadn't read about. They were processes and thoughts and things that it just validated me. I felt very seen. And so a lot of the things that I do speak about in therapy with clients are all the same things. It doesn't matter what the problems are in your life, what problems or obstacles you are facing. I do speak about the same topics. I can't believe it took me 12 minutes and 30 seconds to identify that that's what I'm talking about here. So I am calling it is a spirituality workshops. They're the spirituality workshops. But I think a lot of times people do not understand what spirituality is. They think it's a religion. And ultimately, it's just basically about seeing the bigger picture in life and being able to step back and to... It's bigger picture, more like emotional intelligence, empathy, not only for yourself, but for others. And ultimately the understanding that there is something greater than us in this world. And so if you and that doesn't mean religion or worshiping anything. It's just recognizing. I think everyone in this world, nobody's ever told me they didn't believe that. Do you believe that there's something greater than us out there? That there's a purpose for everyone? There's a greater meaning to all of this? And they all say yes. So that's what spirituality is. If you believe that there's a purpose and a greater point, and you believe in those affirmations that people always say, like out there to push you forward and motivate you to move. I don't know what the fuck I was saying. If you believe all of those things, though, then these are the workshops for you, because ultimately that's what spirituality is. And I didn't recognize that until I really started looking on the more spiritual side of it. So the more mystical, more like mystical. So a lot of people mistake spirituality for mystical, like the mystic arts. And that's not necessarily the case. Yes, we might talk about some of that, but ultimately it's up to what you want to believe and where you want to take it. You know, I'm not talking about witchy stuff and stuff like that. While there's science behind how crystals work and help, I'm not going to be talking about voodoo or any of that stuff here, okay? So my workshops are generally going to cover things such as emotional intelligence. We might talk about neuropsychology, neurology. I just taught you a couple of those things about like how trauma affects the brain. So we will talk about that because every single person in this world understands what trauma is, and they understand they have their own suffering that they've gone through, right? And so ultimately, when you look up different types of models of consciousness, which are related to like Buddhism, Hinduism, and things like that, ultimately it's about being the best version of you that you could possibly be, being fully enlightened. So the first version of being your best version of you that you could be reminds me of Eric Maslow, where, you know, you're looking at the triangle, you get to the top and you are fully enlightened, right? Altruism. So these are all, we can talk about psychological ways of looking at things using psychology. I do teach a lot of theories in my lessons. And then, so that's the more scientific studied side of it. And then there's the other more mystical studied side of it, because technically quartz is in a lot of our watches. Diamonds are used in a lot of machinery. You know, I'm just flying off, just saying whatever I can think of off the top of my head right now. But crystals do hold energy. They come from the earth. There's so many different things on the scientific level that people don't think about. And I like to educate so that we can understand in layman's terms and also understand the science behind it. And then I might bring in the mystical. So you go like, now I see how it's mystical, but I got something that has the scientific backup on it too. It's better than that. And that's how I look at things. But I do believe there's a lot of stuff that you just can't make sense of. Like, we breathe air, we can't see it. So how do you know it's there? Because I'm breathing. You know what I mean? So anyway, it must be late because my brain is everywhere. Do you want to learn from me? Okay, so with that said, there's going to be a lot of quirkiness in this whole process. Okay, there's always me. I don't really want to go through and edit it and stuff, but I might. It's likely that you won't even hear this because I might edit it beforehand, but we shall see. D. So with that said, each topic we are going to touch on will help you to grow in your spiritual journey, in your enlightenment, okay? And the higher amount of awareness you have, not only with yourself, but in your environment, in the people that you surround yourself with, the understanding of emotional intelligence, and letting go more of the ego self and stepping into your spiritual self, your higher self. I know it will help you, because not only have I taken this journey, I have helped probably thousands of people do this throughout my years in counseling, because it's something that I do that is it's the foundation. All of it is a foundational thing for me. I teach that, and then we can get into more detailed stuff. That's usually when people are in like 90-day programs or 145 or whatever. But I've also worked with individuals learning these topics fairly quickly. And so I split it up into different types of topics. Of course, I didn't bring it out here today, of all days. But I believe it was like 18 or 19 different topics. And where's my phone? Hang on. 18 or 19 different topics. It's going to be on here. So yeah, it's 18 or 19 different topics, but I believe that I can combine several of them. I don't know how it's going to work. This is the first time I'm actually trying to structure it so it's a whole program, my program. I've been trying to do this for years, and I've just been busy doing so many other things, and also have had this deep fear of failing, even though I know the subjects, I know the topics, I know the details of what I want to talk about, but just scared to pull it together. And what if it's a failure? But that's the thing. If I fail, I just get up and try something different. It's not going to hurt. You learn through failure. Anyway, I digress. I have set up the topics in a way that will help anyone to expand their consciousness, their awareness, and become more spiritual in nature, and open and receptive in life and able to cope with things. I set this program up so that you will be successful if you work through each step, if you're learning. Why? Because I believe in helping people be autonomous. I don't hold hands, metaphorically speaking. I help people to feel empowered to do it on their own, that they can do it on their own, that they know what to do, they have an idea of what to do, they're set up for success. Why? Not by telling them what to do, by teaching you, educating you on these different topics. And with that knowledge, you will change. I don't care who you are, you will change with those topics. They will change you as you learn. Some things, I'm telling you, the way again, maybe a little cocky, but I still have clients for years ago who will tell me, "Oh my gosh, Miss Piper, I remember the things that you told me. They still stick with me." And sometimes they rattle off some of the things that I've said, and it just really changed their lives. And I'm telling you, this is some of the most, it means something to me that they held on to something that changed their lives, because ultimately it's not about me. I don't care if you do, I care, but I don't care if you don't do something with what I give you, because that's not my life. It's your life, and I want you to grow. So while I might care about you, that's not my life. It's not my choice to make for you to take information and do exactly what I would say you should do. I educate you. You take it how you receive it, and what you do with it is all yours. That's up to you. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm giving you the tools that you need so you can make the right decisions, to be informed, and to take care of yourself and those around you. So ultimately, I think it also reduces suffering. Growing your spirituality reduces your suffering in this world. And God knows we have so much suffering. That is what the physical world is all about. So I start really simple with the topics, and I put things, remember, I speak in layman's terms, and it's really because that's how I taught myself. God, that sounds like I'm a know-it-all. I taught myself a lot of things. I worked through a lot of journaling. I did a lot of this work, right? And then when I went to school and I found there were names and such for the things I was doing, sometimes I don't remember the theory, but I remember the thing that I taught myself. But I remember it's a theory. Does that make sense? So I speak in layman's terms because that's how I first learned it, was through my way of wording it. I didn't know there's a fancy word for things. It's like mindfulness is a version of awareness. It's just a fancy word. So a lot of it is it's going to be easy for you to understand. If I believe that any normal person would not understand some of these topics, I will give you a simple rundown of it. Better than I am doing right now, obviously. But yeah, each topic will build on the last, and it'll help you to come into a greater understanding. I am going to be going back to work. That's my plan, to be going back to work full time, even though I haven't completed my dissertation. I was hoping that I would complete my dissertation and then be able to go back to work full time, but it's just not financially feasible for me. And ultimately, I am actually more inspired when I'm helping other people than being stuck at my home. So, yeah, so because I'm doing that, the workshops will be on the weekends, maybe at night. I'm not sure how that's going to work. It depends on what kind of job I get, but that's what I'm looking at. It might be, instead of being like an hour and a half sessions, they might be 3-hour sessions, and things like that. So that's my goal. But know that I'm going to set it up where you can take any of those workshops with me as a la carte, right? But ultimately, when I'm done with those workshops, all of those 18, 19, whatever it is, once I'm done with those, I will go into the first personal mythology workshop. And when I mean, program. The first personal mythology program that I'm shooting to be about 11 or 12 weeks long. And again, setting it up on the weekends, but it's going to be 11 or 12 weeks long, and it will be very deep work. But it's easier for you to do that if you have gone through the other workshops, okay? It's a greater understanding. Because ultimately that personal mythology program, I'm going to have to edit this. The personal mythology program has a lot of the workshop stuff built into it. But I find that once we are actually in the personal mythology program, I believe it's going to be a lot easier and better for those that are joining if they have a deep understanding of a lot of the topics first. I will refresh them during the program. We will talk about those things, but ultimately I want you to have a deeper understanding of it so we don't have to be doing the teaching a lot. This is more like therapeutic, deep work of yourself, and I want it to be focused on that. That's what that program is going to be about. And in order to take that program, you need to complete all of the workshops. It's just a requirement in order to do the program. As of right now, that's how I'm going to set it up. That's going to be in the new year. All of this stuff is going to be in the new year. I'm going to start it off. I'm going to come back on here and talk about it again, but I wanted to bring it up on YouTube. We haven't talked about it over here. I've been kind of quiet over here. I've been a little busy. I've been busy. So, why did I first start talking about Ayurvedic medicine? Because during that time, once I start doing the personal mythology program, I'm also going to do an Ayurvedic medicine program. That is going to be a program where we talk about what's best for your body type. We're going to talk about your body type. We're going to talk about the history of Ayurvedic medicine, layman's terms, really short, easy to understand. Okay, we're going to keep it really simple because that's how I do it. Okay, I am not one of those. How do I explain it? I love Ayurvedic medicine. I love learning about all the great details. There are a lot of details in Ayurvedic medicine that talk about channels in the body, and on a really detailed, detail is the only word that's popping in my head right now. I'm so sorry. Basically, I am not a diagnosing practitioner of Ayurvedic medicine like that, okay? Ayurvedic medicine can be exactly like going to a doctor, but these people understand the ins and outs of certain things. I am not that far in my studies because I've got so many other things on the other end that I have focused on. You know, I have counseling, crystals, and so Ayurvedic medicine, I don't diagnose like that. I can help you find those things, that information, and talk about it based on your gut health. But yeah, this is not the medical practitioner side of it. I'm not into that detailed. I have not that far in my studies. I would like to continue them, but as of right now, I don't go into all that. And you may not understand that because you don't understand all of Ayurvedic medicine, but my whole point is that this is very simple version. It's very easy to understand. I keep things really, really, really easy to understand because that's how I need to keep it. It's easier for me to remember it that way. It's better in my terms. What am I saying? Whatever. whatever. It's really fucking simple is all I'm trying to tell you. We will focus on body type, what's better for you. We'll talk about certain things that Ayurvedic medicine may recommend, different herbs. This goes into some colors. We'll talk about color therapy, not specifically coloring, how to use colors in your day-to-day life. Kind of like greens are in Wednesdays. Typically greens are on Wednesdays. They're connected to certain planets, and they're connected. There's all kinds of details. It brings in some kind of astrology and some of that. I don't necessarily go into all that because I'm not detailed in that side, but I do know what Ayurvedic medicine tells me, and there are certain days you're supposed to wear certain colors that are because of the dynamics of the planets around us and things like that. So it does talk about what crystals you should wear on your fingers, what hand, what day, things like that. So it goes into that. So I go into teaching you beyond Ayurvedic medicine version of color therapy. I go into teaching you about how to use colors and patterns in your environment. This goes into intuition. We will talk about different crystals. This is going to be in the same thing. So the Ayurvedic medicine will be color therapy and crystals as well. We're going to talk about all of those things together. But ultimately, it will be solely focused on your dasha. We'll be talking about your body constitution and understanding how to eat certain foods, how they make you feel, things like that. Oh my God. I'm special. Welcome. So the best example I can give you right now is for my body type, at least, or just anybody. Let's think about it. So if you have acid in your stomach, typically you would take an acid reducer or something like that. Ultimately, to soothe the acid, you would eat something bitter. You can eat cilantro or Italian parsley. I actually really like to drink things with dandelion, like dandelion tea. It's really good for an upset stomach. Allergies, if you have problems with postnasal drip, drink dandelion tea. Yeah, so it has to be, it's the law of opposites. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to go into it right here. I've talked well enough. So I want you to keep an eye out. We're going to be talking about those things. However, starting tomorrow on the 26th of December, I am going to start taking care of myself already. If you would like to jump on that train with me, you're more than happy to. I need to create a better schedule. I've been putting my own health on. I've been relying on medical stuff, the medical model, rather than the natural model lately, because just things that are going on with me. And so I haven't been physically active as much as I used to. I've clearly gained weight because of my medical stuff and everything else going on. And it's time to make a change. And so starting tomorrow, I will be working out again. I'm going to start doing a little something tomorrow. I might be reporting it here. I'm not really sure. If y'all want to hear about this process and go about it together without waiting for the program and just having a discussion, we can do that as well. It can be just kind of a reporting live. No. Okay. But yeah, I was kind of throwing this out there because I want you to know about the workshops coming up. It will start after the new year. I don't know exact dates. I will come up here and I will come on here and let you know soon. And then we'll go into the programs. But I'm going to start working on myself now. And I figured if anybody wanted to do a not so detailed version, but a short version, you know, just discussing things, this would be your chance to do it. If you wanted me to share, I plan on doing photos of myself. Sadly, I have gained quite a bit of weight, and yeah, I need accountability, and Jason is a little too understanding of me, and I feel like it's kind of enabling. So I have to stop making excuses for myself as well. So yeah, I didn't know if y'all would be interested in that, because as I get into that, my eating is going to slowly change because I'm really struggling financially right now. So I'm going to be doing what I can with what I can make. But I do know that the more exercise that I do, or just starting in general, it does help cut my appetite when I'm not doing anything. I'm hungry all the time. It's just stupid. I hate it. So yeah, I was kind of curious if you have made it this far through, if you're interested in joining me, you can do whatever you wanted to do on your fitness side, and just report in the comments, or if you would like to come on here and chat. I need at least 50 followers to bring someone on to chat and us to go live and things like that. And I would like to do that. I know I'm slowly growing. Or if you would just like to watch my journey and for me to share it here on the page, I will do that with you. Another thing that is part of Mother Nature's Medicine that I've always wanted to do is on my personal channel. I don't know if y'all have been over there or ventured to find it. It's all over the place. I also teach people how to do modifications on exercises, how to use posture properly. That's also, I learned about posture, and then I learned about asanas, which is posture and yoga. And so, is Ayurvedic medicine talks about it as well. So all these things coming full circle. But again, if you want to learn about that, if you would like me to share those things, the process, if I've struggled doing any kind of workouts, what I've done, not necessarily sharing my video of the workouts, but updating you and keeping you, with me on that journey as I continue to get healthier again after all of this craziness. Yeah, I would be happy to do that if y'all are interested in that. But I just want to let y'all know that I'm going to start this journey now, and I would love to be accountable and to share it with y'all as I go through the process. So I might need to get a different camera. But yeah, I think that's all I'm going to say, because I just feel like I've been talking too much. And that's it. So just heads up that workshops are coming your way. I am going to put the topics below. I'm going to put the topics down there in the comment section. Why do I always forget the name of the box? Caption box. Captions? No. Whatever the fuck that is. Just look down there. Woo! No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'm going to put the topics down here. So if you're interested, I haven't quite split them up yet, but from now until the new year, I will be working on the details of that. So, I will come on here and update you some more, but just so you have an idea, I'm going to put them below. If you're interested in my journey, showing you basically for you to see how to still use modifications with medical issues like I have disc issues, sciatic issues, retrolesthesis, which I think is mostly healed now, and what that journey's like, on top of alternating my eating again back to my body type and what that looks like, and how to use crystals for healing and things like that. If you would like to discuss that here again, please leave that comment below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give me a like, okay? Maybe share, I mean, whatever. Tell your friends about me. Come hang out. Look, this bee, she can't stop rattling. She don't know what the fuck she's talking about, but she's got good information. She's just a little all over the place. Well, honey, it's midnight, so it's really midday for me. Anywho, hit that subscribe. Come back to my crazy ass, and hopefully we get to start off the new year with a bang. I'm really excited. And so, yeah, I'm going to get started on the rest of the days of the week. If you haven't explored those are also an option to look at, like crystals for the days of the week. And that also includes Ayurvedic colors, the planets of connection. I discussed those. I think I already have Monday Wednesday, and Friday done. Whatever, I have 3 of them done. I need to do the other ones. I didn't get them finished because I was dealing with medical stuff, which is also in my videos, so go check that out. And yeah, get up to date. And then tomorrow I'm going to start kicking off talking about the rest of those, and we'll go from there. So with that said, that's all I'm going to say, because I'm awful at getting off lives and videos and stuff. So that's it. Thanks for coming by. Hit that subscribe button. Give me a like. Talk to you later. Adios. Merry Christmas.